Hello, everyone. I am sports journalist Manouk Akopyan. Today, we are joined by Fernando Beltran, who is the promoter and head of Zanfer Promotions, the Mexico-based boxing promotional company. And Fernando, with coronavirus going on, I've been spending a lot of time watching old fights. And going all the way back to the 90s with Eric Morales' fights, we see you in the ring. And I can tell you one thing, you haven't aged a single day since those days.
Yes, great moments with Morales and with everybody there. With Morales, Castillo, Arce, all that generation was unbelievable.
And of course, you're talking about Jose Luis Castillo and Jorge Arce.
Absolutely. Boy Campas, Castillo, Arce, Bazan. All those guys were a generation that were unbelievable.
How long have you been in boxing now, Fernando?
Since 1993. Mm-hmm. September 6th of 1993, I started.
Did you ever imagine a day where you wouldn't be working like this?
No, never imagined this type of situation. But it's been a great ride. It's been sensational. My relationship with Top Prime it's unbelievable, and it was a great thing when I encouraged myself into when I went to the United States with my fighters. I went with them with Bob and Todd, and great. It was great.
And of course, you have a burgeoning roster of fighters right now. We're talking about Jaime Munguia, Juan Francisco Estrada, Emmanuel Navarrete, Miguel Berchelt, Luis Neri, and the list goes on and on. A lot of former and current world champions in there.
Edwin Soto, yeah.
Yes, of course. And a lot of fighters at the peak of their powers. How frustrating is it for you, considering with coronavirus, that you have these young fighters in their prime who are losing valuable time into continuing and creating their legacy?
Well, it's a little bit frustrated, but first, I really believe in we need to take care of ourselves first, and then and after this, I really think this is gonna happen, and this is gonna pass, and after this, I think we're gonna be a better world, definitely, and the fighters are keeping themselves busy in their houses, like trying to do some exercise, keeping themselves in shape, and that makes me. I'm sure that everybody of my roster is very responsible, and I know we're gonna come back in a big fashion.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of fighters from Mexico on your roster. How soon do you see boxing returning back to Mexico? I know Mexico is one of the countries that has been impacted by coronavirus a lot more significantly than others, specifically where boxing plays a prevalent role. How soon do you envision Mexico going back to normal business with boxing?
Well, we've been following the Secretary of Health in our country, and he's gonna open some sector in Mexico, and one of the sectors that probably will be open after May 17 will be part of where TV Azteca is located, and we are trying to do a protocol. Health protocol along with the WBC, with Mauricio Sulaiman, and absolutely he's working on that and to make a protocol, and of course with all the people in charge of the health, the Secretary of Health, and everyone. That way. We can probably concentrate some fighters and do a closed door show from the location of the television and send it to the world. because honestly we really wanna start, but we want to start with a lot of responsibility, and we don't want to do anything that it's against the protocols of Mexico, of course.
Absolutely. So you're envisioning TV Azteca studio shows at this point, or late in May?
I think we have all the elements to do something special, because we have the production tracks, we have everything in production that we can send it to the world. We can send we have very quality fighters. Emmanuel Navarrete used to fight every month. Now he's probably hitting someone in the kitchen. I don't know. And we have a lot of fighters from that area. And of course, we would like to, in the protocol that we would like to work, is to concentrate the fighters probably in a hotel, do the exams, and do everything that we need to do before and after the show, and in between the training camps, and of course to make sure that we don't risk anybody. So this is only a plan. Of course, it needs to be authorized, but we're always working. We're always trying to innovate and to do things for the sport.
Absolutely. And you mentioned a fighter like Emmanuel Navarrete, who fought 5 times last year. He's probably itching and has the hives right now. He can't go in there and fight.
5 times in 9 months.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Almost a fight every month and a half if you go to an average.
Definitely a throwback fighter with his the rates that he's fighting and how busy he is. One of the big things with Navarrete is at what weight class will he be fighting moving forward? He's long said he's not long for 122. Are you looking forward as soon as boxing is back to regular business? Are you looking forward to having Emmanuel have a unification fight with someone like a Ray Vargas or Akhmadaliev? Or are you looking forward to having him fight as a 126-pounder because he might have too many snacks during coronavirus?
He's very responsible, but he wants big fights in his weight class. He already have 5 defenses. So I think if we can either unify the titles or get a fight like Top Rank just signed Inoue, and we are handling the career of Navarrete along with Top Rank, and we will love to fight Inoue if he wants to. Of course, he says he's a monster and he wants to go to 122, 126. We will be more than happy to fight him in 132 with Navarrete. And of course, we would like to fight in the 20 and in the 26th division. We would like to go up and look for. Right now, he's cleaning the 122s. If he's not cleaning the other champions, it's because the other champions don't want to step in with him, not because he doesn't want to. But we know he's the best 122. Everybody knows it.
I think one of the big things with an Inoue fight is that a lot of fighters these days, when they go up to a new division, they don't go and fight the world champion right off the bat. It's very infrequent. I think in your heyday with the likes of Morales, Castillo, and Arce, when fighters moved up one division, they wanted to fight the very best. And now I feel like a lot more fighters need tune-ups or see how they get acclimated to a new weight. Do you think Inoue would go up to 122 and fight Navarrete in his first fight? Because Navarrete, he really wants to move up at this point. I feel like a timing could be the issue.
Well, it's all about timing. It's all about if he wants to, he will fight him. But who knows? From the Navarrete perspective, I believe that he should go. He should go up and wait, and we will look for the champions immediately, or for the best 126 out there. With Navarrete, I will put him with anybody.
Another fighter
or
who just
130 if they want to.
Another fighter who just moved up in weight was Jaime Munguia earlier in January.
Yes.
Made his division debut in 160 pounds. Looked good against Spike O'Sullivan. What do you see for Munguia next? 160 is a very talented division. A lot of great champions. Do you think Munguia is now ready for a test to perhaps get in there with a world title shot for a world title shot?
Absolutely. If you want to be the best, you need to fight the best. And we know about it. Well, of course, we've been talking Oscar, Eric Gomez, and myself. We've been talking to about what's his next step. He was ready to fight probably in May. Unfortunately, this coronavirus happened, and then look for a big fight. Of course, we would love to fight. You know, either one of the top ones of the division, and our goal and our dream is to fight either Canelo, Triple G, one of those two that they're very good fighters, honestly.
Eddie Reynoso, Canelo's trainer, recently said that he feels that Munguia is a little too green and still a little immature inside the boxing ring to fight someone of Canelo's stature. It feels like they want to wait for Munguia to maybe be a bigger star, or uh, if they feel they could beat him now, why not? But
Yeah, that's better for
I,
them.
I feel like they're waiting for Munguia to be a bigger name so it could be a classic all Mexico clash. Are you confident in Munguia's development today that he could go in there and give Canelo a fight of his life?
I really think so, but I agree with Eddie Reynoso. He's a very good trainer, and he knows what he's been handling the career of Canelo very good. He's the main, not only his trainer, probably he's the main advisor in boxing for Canelo, and of course Golden Boy has done a terrific job too of talking about the Canelo career. But with Munguia, when they offered us Triple G, we said yes immediately, and then the Nevada State Athletic Commission didn't allow us to fight, and then we end up fighting the world champion Saddam Ali, who just retired Miguel Angel Cotto one fight before, and everybody said that we were too green, that we were not ready, we were too young to step up and fight a world champion of the level of Saddam Ali, and we end up winning, and winning easy. That relatively easy, the fight. He dropped him a lot of times, and it was a 4-round fight. And after that, he fought his mandatory with Liam Smith. The Liam Smith give a very good fight to Canelo, I think. Even though Canelo knocked him out, Munguia dropped him, but I believe that Munguia handled him very well in the entire fight. And Munguia right now is getting better, and in the 60 in the middleweight division, he's feeling stronger and more healthy. And he's only, just remember, he's only 23. He's only 23 years old. So we're not in a rush, we're not in a hurry. But of course, we really believe that he's in the level of the best fighters out there. And he's been passing all the tests with excellence. So why not dream and try to fight the best ones out there? The best ones out there, I think. I don't think they're gonna walk through him. No one. And you can mention me one that you think that there is not a fight, or is gonna be a 10-1 in the odds. I don't see it. I see him very competitive in that division and I believe he can be the best of the division without a doubt.
It reminds me a lot of how it could be a passing of the torch potentially. You say Munguia is only 23 years old, Canelo is nearing 30, where later on in their career, you know, if they were to fight, it could be perhaps a passing of the torch to the next big Mexican superstar. If that is the case, if Jaime does end up on the winning side of that fight, that would be a great fight, I think, within due time. But it looks like Canelo, he has plans at 168.
Oh, he has plans, and I respect Canelo a lot. And I'm very proud to be Mexican because he's a great Mexican representative. And him and his trainer. But of course, we dream in fighting, in making that fight. And of course, I've been in the Mexican classics, and I know what it's all about. You know, 3 Morales Barreras. Those were unbelievable experience, unbelievable everything. And in being involved in Rafael Marquez against Israel Vasquez was also tremendous. 4 tremendous fights, and I know what it is when a Mexican goes against another Mexican. In the level, they fight much better than any other fight.
Yeah,
So
it brings out something special in them. And speaking of Canelo, you have a fighter inside
it's like when
now.
Oscar fought Chavez. Oscar fought very good, very good fight. I don't in the first one and in the second one too, you know, and those fights were electrifying. Mm-hmm. It was great. It was great to see those fights.
Going back to what I was just mentioning, you have a fighter right now in Canelo's camp, in Canelo's gym, in Luis Neri. Is he taking notes for you to pass off?
No, we're very professional, and we are good friends. I always express myself with my admiration of Canelo and Eddie Reynoso and my respects for them. And Eddie is becoming a sensational trainer. He's taking the torch, like you said, of all the various times and all these guys who are legends in the training. And he's a very good Mexican trainer. And Eddie feels sensational. Neri feels very good with him. From as far as I just text, Neri texted me like 2 days ago, and he feels like he's gonna make history. So he feels very good in that training camp.
Is the plan for Neri to fight Aaron Alameda again after coronavirus is over, or do you plan on going to another opponent?
Well, we have that compromise signed. I don't know if the other fighter, the other camp, and the promotional company is willing to reschedule that fight. If they are willing to reschedule that fight, we are more than happy to make it happen.
Mm-hmm. And do you think with the weight issues that Neri has had in the past, are you kind of concerned that in a time where training isn't of the essence, that he could even be getting bigger than he even is? How do you make sure that fighters are staying in shape during a time like this?
Well, now he needs to be very disciplined. He make a bad name for himself in the undisciplined part. And now he's the bad boy of boxing. What can we do? Now he needs to understand that he needs to be very disciplined. He's suspended for life in Japan. That's what they said. And what we need to do is to try to look for the big and better opportunities for him in the States or in Mexico, whatever the opportunities are.
And you mentioned, we were talking about Jaime Munguia and how he might be perhaps too young for Canelo right now, but you kind of had this a few years ago with Juan Francisco Estrada when he was a young fighter. and he fought
Correct.
Roman Gonzalez, and that was in 2012. Here we are 8 years later, and they want to have a unification fight at 115, and I think that will be one of the fights of the year if they do end up actually meeting. How serious are you of putting that fight together? Because I know before Chocolatito won the title, you wanted to have the unification fight with Yafai, but now Gonzalez has that title, and it could be one big war if they end up meeting up. Is that the next?
We will love to take that fight. We will love to do it. Just remember one thing: the only fight. Look at his record. Look at from Juan Francisco Estrada's record. And his record, the only fight he fought in 108, the only one. He only fought once in 108 in his entire career, and he was against Roman Gonzalez. We dropped him to 108 to take the opportunity. So just imagine if he would have fight in his weight, and he was a war. It was not a one-sided fight. It was very close. Couldn't go either way. And it's only one fight that he would make in 108. Now we're gonna fight in 115. Let's see. Let's see if Chocolatito can handle him in 115.
Has he recovered from his hand injury?
Yeah, he's very good. He's ready.
So he could fight as soon as possible, essentially.
As soon as possible. As soon as this pandemic goes away.
One thing, when Chocolatito, Estrada, and they were having a conversation with Jesse Vargas, and Chocolatito said one of the big things that needs to happen for this fight is for the money to be there. Do you think the money will be a problem in making this fight happen?
Well, you know, it all depends on the networks. But you know how big the interest of seeing those two in the ring is for the network. Of course, everybody thinks they deserve the world, but unfortunately, that can most of the time the network is the one who balance what works for them, and they make you an offer, and it's very clear and very transparent. It's easy to know how much money is out there for them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we can count on the gate right now, right?
Yeah, exactly. And one of the big things with Chocolatito is his resurgence, his renaissance at 32 years old. Do you think this is going to be sustainable for him at this stage of his career, or was that just one great night he had with Yafai, and Estrada will really put him back 2 steps?
Oh no, I think he proved he's a very good fighter, Chocolatito. He's a very good fighter. I think he's for real, and he was not a one night performance. He was not no. I think he's a very good fighter.
Do you think that has the potential or elements to be a fight of the year?
Excuse me?
Do you think Chocolatito versus Estrada has the elements and ingredients to be a fight of the year candidate?
Absolutely. As I told you before, I don't think Chocolatito was a one-hit wonder. He proved in the past that he's a very quality fighter. A lot of experts consider him pound for pound the best fighter in the world for not long ago. So I think it's got the potential. And Estrada, I think, is the most technician fighter that I represent right now at this moment.
If you could make only one fight for the rest of the year, you only have one fight, your dream fight, what is that going to be?
Oof.
Only one.
But makeable fight.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Makeable fight and probably scheduled in the fight that I think is going to happen. Berchelt against Oscar Valdez.
That is a fight that has been talked about a lot in recent
my answer is about makeable fight, right? Because if I tell you Munguia Canelo, we know that Canelo has got his schedule already. He's busy, his schedule already. So it's just a dream. Makeable fight, uh, either Berchel Valdez or Chocolatito against Estrada.
Mm-hmm. Burchell Valdez, that's a fight that has been going on a collision course ever since last September when Burchell fought. I'm sorry, last November when Burchell fought in Los Angeles, and then a few weeks later, Oscar Valdez had his scary yet stoppage win in Las Vegas. Um, that fight could easily happen too. Like you said, both of them are promoted by Top Rank. Why wasn't it done until coronavirus happened? Was there a reason the fight had a?
No. It was scheduled to happen. It was scheduled to happen. His camp knew that we were fighting them, and we knew that we were fighting them. We were negotiating. We were starting negotiations. So that fight, if you allow me to, three very very makeable fights are that one for this year, are Chocolatito-Estrada for this year, and Navarrete-Inoue for this year. Those are my three fights that I would love to see this year in the fans, because they didn't have boxing for a couple of months. They deserve to have those fights. But but in the getting back to Oscar Valdez and Berchelt, I think we both are ready to sit down and make that fight possible.
I talked to Carl Moretti a few months ago. He told me that Los Angeles, perhaps the forum would be an
Master Carl.
Yes, he told me the forum in Los Angeles would be an ideal location. Is that still what you have in mind as well?
Well, at this moment, a studio will be fine. Who knows? But if everybody goes to normal, of course, LA will be a sensational place. Remember, in LA, when Chucho Castillo, Ruben Olivares, Juan Manuel Marquez, who reopened the forum in boxing, he fought Alvarado, sensational game, sensational atmosphere. It was great. I think LA it's a great place to do that fight, definitely.
Who does Miguel Burchelt remind you of from a fighting standpoint?
He's got some, reminds me a little bit of you know, it's like a combination between Eric Morales and Marquez. He's a good counter puncher, and he's link and tall, and he's got a good job in the counter punch with his left hand to the body is sensational. He can really punch.
You've mentioned Eric Morales. Ever since I would say last July, last summer, you've gotten to see Morales a little bit closer now because he is Munguia's trainer. How have you seen his transformation as a trainer? Because Munguia is his most notable fighter, and Eric was mostly unproven until he united forces with Jaime as his trainer. What kind of future do you see for Eric as a trainer?
Well, I think he's the first time that Eric disciplined himself as a trainer, because in the past he was like an advisor to some other fighters. He did give a lot of advice to Zorrita Soto, and to a lot of fighters, and teach them some things. But I always knew that he knows a lot about the sport. He can be a very good trainer if he's there. And he's been with Jaime Munguia, very responsible, very responsible in each and one of his training sessions. And you see the change in Munguia. He's not jumping like crazy. He's sleeping punches, and now the only thing we need to do is to put his head up, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Eric has the passion for the training, considering his governmental duties he has in Mexico as well too?
Oh, definitely. Boxing is in his blood, and where he feels the most comfortable and the most when he feels in his territory is in the gym. Definitely, in the gym, either boxing or training. sometimes now that he lose weight, he started moving himself. He moves great, still moves great.
You know, Fernando, when I visited Tijuana last August and got a chance to see the Morales' gym in Zona Norte up close and personal, it kind of brought everything full circle where it literally, when they say blood, sweat, and tears, they put into he was born in that gym. So for
Yes,
so
yes, definitely.
so for him, is Jaime training at his new gym now?
He used both gyms. He used both gyms. One gym, it all depends. It all depends. One is harder than the other one. It all depends how his weight is going up. But he used both.
Do you plan on giving Eric Morales any more of your fighters, or right now?
Oh, definitely, definitely, definitely. That's a part that I always take. I always talk to the fighters and whatever I always suggest him if they want to, but it's not my decision at the end of the day.
And Fernando, in closing, any message to the fans as far as when they could expect all this to be over and for boxing to come back to normal? What would you say for everyone impatiently waiting at home, waiting to see the sport they love back in the limelight?
Well, I will say that stay safe, that we are doing everything in our hands to bring the sport back to their televisions, and we're gonna keep working hard, and it's a matter of weeks that you're gonna see live boxing in your screen. So stay safe, stay at home, and we're working hard to bring you the sport back, and I think we're gonna be able to do it very, very soon. And I'm very happy that everybody, all the families of boxing almost all the families of boxing are okay right now. The writers, everyone, and I'm happy for everybody. And so just stay safe.
Well, it sounds like a matter of weeks sounds close, and hopefully the world is in a better place until then, so we can get back to normal life. Fernando, thank you very much for the time, from calling from Mexico. Looking forward to seeing you at the next event very soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Absolutely.
very much.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.